Just when you thought it was all over, they always come back for more. Nothing truly stays dead forever. The witching hour is upon us, and time is running out. It's a race against the clock and against the undead. This is the Venom month of horrors for Corona Fever.
No! I need someone to watch a movie with me! Help!
I'll watch a movie with you.
That's really sweet, baby, but...
Please can we watch Frozen?
No, we can't, it's... Okay. We can watch Frozen.
We're gonna watch Frozen!
Yes, we are. Yes, before Disney claimed the name for their own, Adam Green, director of horror comedy Hatchet, came up with it first. A nature versus human survival thriller about three people stuck in one location. And I really dig the confined spaces genre, so I thought I would give it a go. Despite earning $2.7 million against a budget of only $131,395, which is a pretty solid profit, it received mixed reviews. Some loved it, while others called it ridiculous and highly unlikely to actually happen. It's a movie!
What?
Audiences and critics were split, though it was nominated for a Saturn Award for Best Horror Film but fell short to Drag Me to Hell. Well, one location horror movie? I'm sold! This is Frozen!
Let it go, let it go.
Good luck with that.
So our heroes are Parker, played by Emma Bell, Dan, played by Kevin Zegers, and Joe Lynch, though they mostly refer to him as Lynch, played by Shawn Ashmore. Anyway, they're visiting a ski resort for the weekend and are hell-bent on getting cheaper tickets, so Dan literally whores his girlfriend Parker out to flirt with the staff there. He even unzips her jacket to show her damn bra. Nice. But, she isn't the best flirt.
Oh, cool. My brother's name is Jason.
That's awesome.
While this is going on, Lynch is slightly annoyed at Dan for bringing his girlfriend along on the trip, as the ski resort tends to be their guy go-to place and feels like she's interfering. God damn it, Dan! Bros before hoes! Not cool!
Where is Olaf?
Olaf?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna show up in a minute.
I think you did great. Proud of you, Parker.
I did good, right?
You did
You did well.
Oh! Alright, very good, very good.
Dan, you gave me $2.50, so we're supposed to ask for change?
I would ask for change.
I mean, it's still way cheaper than paying for tickets, right?
Is it? $100 is cheaper than ski tickets?
You don't touch my face enough either.
Third wheel.
Watch it, Lynch.
Hey, I'm not dating you. You don't get to make my life suck. Whoa!
Okay, you'll grow to love Lynch. Easily the best character of the movie.
Where is Elsa?
Elsa?
Yeah.
Oh, she's in the toilets.
Oh, can you guys smell that fresh mountain air? It smells a bit like, cancer.
He's great.
You know what? I'm so sick of potheads giving me shit about smoking butts.
Yeah, because that's the same thing.
At least pot does something for you.
Oh. Well, I don't need to defend anything. He's got my back. Are you okay, Alice?
Yeah. But why have we got blood on you?
Weirdly, on their first trip round the mountain, the ski lift temporarily stops. This is never acknowledged again. It's just weird foreshadowing. Why did it stop? Why did it stop?
Only one of these things has ever, like, fallen off a chairlift thing before, so...
Okay. Points for calling me honey? But you just made that statistic up.
Yeah, and statistics don't work on smokers.
I mean, he's got a point. Also, I just want to throw this out there. There was no green screen or CGI or anything used for this film. They genuinely were elevated this high during the shooting of the movie. Many of the crew refused to film that high, so director Adam Green had to do it all himself, despite being terrified of heights. But furthermore, this was shot at a real ski resort in Utah that was supposedly haunted. A year before shooting, a man had actually committed suicide leaping from one of the lift chairs, not too far from the one they were filming on, and people claimed that his ghost still wandered the grounds there. But don't worry, they're all in mental facilities now.
Please don't yell at me.
So after the lift ride, Lynch chats up some random bird and his confidence makes him even more endearing. Her ex-boyfriend even shows up and shoves him on his ass, but he still remains charming. God damn it, Lynch! Then we get a montage of Parker failing to ski, and you can clearly see Lynch feels like the third wheel, and you really do feel for him. Unfortunately, she overhears him b***ing about the situation, but offers to stay back while they have their guy time as she doesn't want to impose. God damn it, all these characters are so likeable. Then Lynch manages to score the girl's number before they bribe the same guy for another ride on the lift chairs. Okay, are people in their early 20s really this obsessed with getting a damn ski lift ride? And although I like this movie, the whole circumstances for how they get trapped up there are just incredibly unlikely and really contrived. They go for a ride, but the guy who let them on has to rush off and chat to his manager, so he tells this other dude there's 3 more customers coming back down and then it's safe to close. But he's desperate for a and sees 3 skiers coming down, assume that's them, and then shuts down for the night. I mean, that is a lot to swallow. And ski resorts always have a member of staff check the chairs at the end of every shift to ensure that things like this do not happen. But you know, once you suspend your disbelief, it's fine. Just don't think about it.
That's so funny.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
This is so messed up.
So naturally, the lift stops again, and they think it's just the same malfunction as earlier. But what was the malfunction earlier? Tell me! But they try to pass the time by discussing the worst possible ways to die, and in a clever way, they actually foreshadow all of their own outcomes. But this shot is absolutely incredible.
This big chick fell at the top and twisted her leg, you know? And I was like, okay, fine, people, just hoist her off to the side, keep the line moving. But no, they had to stop, celebrate it right there. We all had to stay on the lift, freeze our asses off. Honestly, by the end of it, I couldn't feel my fingers. I was just sitting there.
Okay, I just pooped myself a little bit.
Bob, we need to find a bomb.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, it's starting to smell.
Well, I like the safety bar and I like it down where it's supposed to be.
Well, how are you gonna
I can hold it.
for a week?
He's so funny.
He's so funny.
But a blizzard soon hits, and this is one argument people had as they try to pick apart the logic further. Like I say, you have a point with the way they're trapped up here, but I can let it go as they needed an excuse and it's whatever, suspension of disbelief. But people then question the logic of everything. Some said, why doesn't Lynch have his hood up or his goggles on? Why haven't they zipped their coats all the way up? But as explained, the actors really were up there, and they admitted in the cast commentary that not once did they even think of doing that. When you're in a situation like this, of course you're not going to think straight as panic kicks in. But hey, credit for the cameo, Jason himself, Kane Hodder, plays this worker guy who drives beneath them, and you are begging for him to spot them. They throw stuff down to try to get his attention, but it's so sad when he doesn't even notice and just leaves. Lynch does his best to come up with conversation tactics to distract them all, but Dan decides that the only way to survive is to jump. Uh-oh.
Ashley so pretty, is she, Rob?
She is, yeah. But so are you.
Ah!
So Dan jumps, but this is nasty, man. Naturally, he breaks his legs, and this is so hard to watch. A woman actually passed out at the sight of it as it was premiered at a film festival. I've also heard people say that it would have been perfectly fine if he just landed on his back. Well, no, because then his back would have been broken and he wouldn't have been able to move at all. Also, again, in this situation, you're not going to be thinking straight and focusing on where or how you're going to land. No matter how he landed, he was going to be screwed. But the bone sticks out and everything, and they slow-mo it upon impact, which is a really cool touch. And the dude's acting is amazing.
You get to it! Feel for it, buddy!
Oh, that's nasty!
Let it die, let it die.
The blood never bothered me anyway. Have you got the Rona?
No.
But despite him being in complete peril, he still demands Parker keep her coat on and puts her safety first. What a sweet guy.
Hey, Dad! Maybe I can climb up to the cable and get to a chair that's close to the ground!
Why didn't you think of that earlier?
You gotta be careful, man! Those cables are razor sharp!
I think you can pull yourself across many chairs.
I can't even do a pull-up. Never even tried to do a pull-up!
Wait, how the hell did he hear that from the ground? But then they hear a wolf, and this is so creepy, and Kevin Zegers' acting is incredible. Then when the wolf shows up, it's so intense, and this was all completely real. It was a real wolf, and no stunt double was used. In fact, there's a part which remains in when the wolf gets a little bit too close, and the actor looks over at the crew for help. This was real. He does manage to scare off the and while that's going on, Lynch tries to climb from one chair to the other, but he keeps his heavy-ass ski boots on, the dumbass! However, midway, he sees something off-screen and comes back. Dan becomes surrounded by wolves, but Lynch is more focused on protecting Parker from seeing it, and I can't even lie. I cried the first time watching this. Imagine having to hear the love of your life being ripped to pieces and being completely helpless.
Lynch! Yeah, man? Don't you let her look! Don't you let her look! No, I won't, man.
I'm not crying, you're crying!
You're such a baby wolf.
That is so sad, hold me! Another argument I've heard is that 1, the resort would have a fence to keep wolves and other predators out, which is a fair point, and 2, wolves would never attack humans like this, but that's not true. Wolves notoriously prey on the vulnerable and weak. Does Dan look very strong right about now? It's worth noting that one wolf went to attack Dan but was scared off, leading to them feeling threatened and therefore aggressive. Wolf attacks on humans are only rare because they tend to not live particularly close to our race, but they usually are afraid of us due to hunters and shepherds, but this is only dependent on that individual wolf's prior experience with humans. Most only show aggressiveness once provoked, which we see. This one was. Sure, the first one already showed anger towards Dan, but he was bleeding and was an easy lunch. The smell of blood to any predator will obviously arouse interest. There are many cases of wolves attacking and eating humans, but usually they're women or children, the easily vulnerable. So yeah, it does actually happen.
Let's go.
Exactly.
I'm sorry!
But just when you start to like all of them, Parker actually blames Lynch for not stopping Dan.
I get it. It should have been me down there, right? Because who gives a about me? You know what? If we hadn't spent the entire day on the bunny hill, watching you fall on your ass, we would have done some runs and we could have gone home.
I'm sorry.
Well, maybe if you hadn't with our thing. Maybe if you just had stayed home and not tried to force yourself into every little aspect of his life, my best friend wouldn't be dead right now.
Okay, that speech is amazing, and it makes Lynch a very human and likeable character. And it's very true, he does have a point. But in retrospect, Parker just witnessed her boyfriend getting mauled to death and is clearly distraught. So even her actions are understandable. But immediately after, Lynch still hugs her and continues to protect her. It's a real touching moment. She then breaks down because her dog is alone at home and she's panicking that he's gonna die. No, not the doggy! I mean, Dan can die, but not the dog! The next morning comes and Parker's hand is stuck to the pole. Oh, you're nasty!
Nasty.
I even heard people criticise the film for the characters sleeping as they could have become stuck to the pole. How dare they pass out or sleep?
Besides, if we don't show up to class, people will start looking for us.
No one knows we're here. I didn't tell anyone I was coming.
How convenient. And once Lynch is asleep, Parker reluctantly p***s herself. You can feel her sadness as she no longer has any dignity left. But wouldn't it at least keep her warm for a few minutes? But then the sun hits and now they're being burned to death. Awesome! But Lynch then tells a sad story about losing his first love and how he no longer cares. And then a charming story about how he and Dan first met in school. Both further adding relatability and likability to his character. Before he gains the motivation to try climbing once again in Dan's memory. And some also slated this for being impossible, considering Lynch, by his own admission, can't even do a pull-up. But now, despite being out here in the frozen for hours, manages to climb across a tight wire. But when your life is on the line and your best friend just got killed, the human body can do amazing things when adrenaline kicks in. And some even said, why don't they just take off their clothes, tie them together and climb down? Because they would then freeze to death before they'd even make it, you dumbass! And some even said they could use the skis to helicopter their way down the wire. I hate people.
I'm ready to beat the out of this guy.
What I do have an issue with is the fact that he still doesn't take his heavy-ass ski boots off! But there is an awesome shot of a wolf passing underneath. Oh no. There was also another criticism because Lynch makes it to the next chair, but his hands are bleeding, attracting the wolves again. But Lynch doesn't wait and immediately continues climbing it again straight after. However, I guess once you get that momentum, you don't really want to wait around. Why? You'll be fine! But you are so happy when Lynch makes it okay and manages to fight off all the wolves.
I'll be back as fast as I can!
Please, please, hurry, please.
Nah, just kidding.
That's not funny.
But Parker wakes up and there's no Lynch before she manages to escape on the lift. See, I told you you'd be fine. No, Lynch!
Who's Lynch?
Lynch is a very nice man. You are so devastated to see the Lynch doesn't make it out okay. He was the best character! Why couldn't you have killed Parker instead? Now, remember earlier when I said they all foreshadow their own deaths?
See, I think being eaten by a shark, that'd be the worst way to go. Not like, one of those surfers who gets attacked from below, never sees it coming. But if you actually saw the fin coming towards you, it'd be worse than being eaten, I think. Knowing this giant animal is coming at you and it's gonna eat you alive,
I remember watching TV for like 3 days straight after 9/11. The footage they showed of those people leaping off the Trade Center. Can you imagine how bad it must have been inside? Do you know that jumping would have been the better way out?
The Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi? Hello? Being slowly digested over 1,000 years? Worst death ever.
It's very clever writing. I mean, Lynch's is a bit of a stretch, but it still works. She even comes across a wolf who doesn't attack her for some reason. Probably because she smells like But I love how this one wolf just doesn't give a But then she gets picked up by a hitchhiker. But man, the poor girl, she's basically lost everything. Frozen is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, some parts don't make sense, but people seem to want to find faults in the logic, and their own criticisms made less sense than what they claimed the movie did. The characters are very human and really likeable, and you beg for their survival. It's graphic, but not too over the top, and I think it's just a highly underrated horror film.
Are you kidding me? Again?
No, it's not what it looks like. We watched Frozen!
A man jumped off and broke its leg.
Come on, sweetheart.
No, come on, it's not that bad. She's making it seem, and I'm alone. A perfect metaphor for my life.